Hi, welcome back to Seeing the Need, Finding the Solution, again with the 9th annual Home Makeover Giveaway, Arizona Cardinals Fan Pack Giveaway. Go to stnaz.tv to enter to win. Submit your story, what's going on in your life, whether it's struggle or success. Let us know what's going on, why you would want a home makeover, why you would need new furniture. We got the entries coming in. We'll be reading those a little bit on another show, but get your story in. There's a winner every year, and it's always the one that never thinks they're going to get it. We're back with Sorrel Bowman Rogers. We're talking about the benefits to the community, and let's talk a little bit about that benefit real quick before we introduce Denise.
Thank you. An incarcerated individual costs the community approximately $25,000 a year. An individual who is free and productive in the community contributes to the community through purchasing power by sales tax. They're paying income tax. They're perhaps off welfare. They may no longer be on food stamps. They may no longer need Section 8 housing, and that frees up those resources for other individuals.
That's awesome. And for me personally, since I get to host the show, bottom line is, you know what? They're people. That's the way, bottom line, you got to look at it. They're mothers, fathers, daughters, neighbors, sisters, uncles, aunts. The reality of it is that everybody deserves a chance. I would venture to say, and I had a conversation with somebody a long time ago, there's a lot of people who haven't been caught for a lot of things in life that if they were, they would have the same exact thing that follows them. So please check out the website of fsaphoenix.org. Get some information, get hooked up. We'll be back in a minute with Sorrel, but Denise Enzendorf, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Ensdorf, sorry.
Yes.
Arizona Children's Association.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit. I know you guys are huge, so tell us a little bit about you.
But we started off very small, 1912, so similar age. Started off as a children's home in Tucson, Arizona. And over the last 100+ years, we've evolved into one of the largest statewide providers now of behavioral health services and child welfare services. So we are primarily a children's agency.
And you got degrees all over. I mean, you're able to work in Colorado, Arizona, a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah, I lived in Colorado for over 20 years and worked in the field. I've been in the field since 1985. And moved here just over 8 years ago.
And we had the pleasure of obviously going out to your facility.
Yes.
Out in East Mesa, Apache Junction, I think, in that area too.
Yep.
And meeting with some of your staff. And I also have personal knowledge of friends who are getting services through you.
Okay.
Amazing work you do in a number of different areas. As Sorrel had talked about, you know, being able to be part of that reunification process of people who may not be in the best positions, could be part of the DES system, could be part of protective services, could be a part of any part of that, may not have any parents at all because of the situations. And it could be even part of people that are young and young kids having some serious high risk, meaning you know, that they're displaying behaviors that are very harmful to themselves and to others. So real quick, where I want to start is, you know, the needs on the local community. When you're talking about providing that trauma type of informed services, let's talk about that.
Providing trauma-informed care services basically talks about approaching the child and family from a trauma-informed frame of mind. That you go into discussions with them wanting to hear what they have actually been through and what they've experienced up until this point versus what's wrong with you. So from the get-go, you're having a different conversation. And not only having that conversation with the child or adolescent, but also with mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, because they've come into this office with the child with similar experiences. So it's about having that, that ability to stop and listen to what they've actually been through. We know now through many studies that trauma impacts people tremendously. It can even impact brain development of a child. And sometimes what we often see as attention deficit kind of symptoms are often behaviors that are in reaction to trauma that's been experienced.
You know, you're in 15 counties.
Yes.
Which also means you serve probably at least 8 tribal communities, if not more. and I know personally from going on public forums and doing the stuff that I do in those 8 counties for the REBA, that Region Behavioral Health Authority, for those of you from Iowa and that are here for the weather. You know, when you're talking about having that aspect and impact on the families and the children, that's not always an easy task, especially in those rural areas
Yes.
where even cultural aspect or that cultural diversity, where things are so separate.
Yes.
And now they're even coming into a mode of even having special programs of family services, meaning of the person who is getting services and trying to give that counseling to them directly.
Yes.
Which you can't get to them unless the person who's getting services
Right,
allows you to. So,
right.
what a job
We make it complicated, don't we?
It is,
Yeah.
and you know, Arizona is a very
Yes.
unique state when it
Yeah.
comes to stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
When you're talking about in those services in all the 15 counties, and you're talking about access to care
Yes.
and all that kind of stuff, talk about the national initiative that you
Yes.
guys were a part of.
Yeah. Over the last year, we were a part of a national initiative that's sponsored by the National Council for Community Behavioral Health Care. And their goal was to increase access to care to behavioral health services for all people in need. So we joined on that bandwagon, received professional guidance to do a whole redo of how we do things, and looked at all of our processes from the time that we get a phone call for the help to the time that we actually provide the service.
So speaking of how you do services, take a look at this video, and we'll see exactly a little bit how they do stuff. We'll be right back.
Guided by a beating heart, I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start.
Hello, I'm Randy Hansen. I'm the program director for all of our Simpatico programs statewide here at Arizona's Children's, and welcome.
Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes, so that's fine by me.
In terms of success stories, I've actually worked with some kids, adolescents, who've actually been in our foster care programs as well as our behavioral health programs, who've come back after they've turned 18 and have been enrolled in college, who've been really making a difference in the community, who've actually requested to come back and mentor for the kids who are currently in our services. So for me, that's a huge success, to see a child who's gone through services here at Arizona's Children and come back and want to give back a portion of that to the kids who are currently involved in services.
And as you see the information on your on the screen at arizonaschildren.org, which is 1-800-944-7611, and that does not even do a portion of what all that you guys do. Let me let you continue on that element of that initiative that you're part of as well too.
So at the end of this initiative, our goal was to be able to provide same-day access to care. Generally, prior to being involved in this process, someone would call to bring their child in for help, and the appointment to come in for intake would be scheduled 3 to 6 days out. We would have at least 30% no-show rate. You know, they're calling when something is going on and they need help now. So when you schedule that appointment out, they're more likely to not show up. So now when someone calls, if they call today, they can come in today, if that's convenient for them. If it's not, they can come in tomorrow, whatever works best.
About 30 seconds real quick, and I always do this.
Okay.
Sorrel, if there's one thing that you could look over at the camera and tell the community this holiday season, what would it be? If you had one thing to tell them. For the felon out there who's looking for a job, or for the person out there.
I would tell the community to support all individuals and open your heart and have Christmas 365 days a year, not just on the Lord's Day.
Awesome. Denise, as well, if there's one thing that you would want to get out to the community this holiday season, what would it be?
It would be that we continue to be in need of foster care parents. So anyone who is interested in becoming foster care or even wants to talk about it to see if it's something that would be a good match for them, we would love to have that discussion.
And with that, before I introduce and close out, do you know that if every church in Arizona Phoenix metropolitan area adopted one child, it would actually eliminate the adoptive foster network? So keep that into thought if you're a church out there or somebody within a church. If they adopted one child, it would eliminate the whole system. Something's wrong. We have Sorrel Bowman-Rogers as well. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
from
much, Phil.
FSA, Family Services Agency, and Denise Ensdorf
Thank
as
you,
well
Phil.
from Arizona Children's Association. We'll be back next Sunday. Go to the websites that are on your screen, get involved, and foster a parent and learn how to get a job and give back as well, and celebrate that Christmas at 365 days a year. Fa la 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 la. See you next Sunday.